Would you consider yourself to be financially comfortable? If yes, you're in the minority compared to most people out there. The reality? Only a fraction of people consider themselves to be financially comfortable, and the reasons behind it are not what you'd initially think, and are honestly more revealing than most people. There's usually some level of cushion in place, whether that's savings for a few months, money set aside for emergencies, or retirement contributions happening automatically. Credit cards, if used, are paid off and not relied on to get through the month. They still make mistakes or overspend sometimes, but it doesn't spiral into a larger problem. The key difference is that there's enough control and margin in their finances that life goes on normally, even when things don't go much thought. Rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, all handled as expected. When something unexpected comes up, like a car repair or a higher bill, it's inconvenient but not a big problem. They're not constantly checking their bank account before making small choices. In everyday spending, like groceries or occasional meals out, doesn't require second-guessing every dollar than most people expect. A recent survey by the Federal Reserve found that only about 34% of Americans say they're actually living comfortably financially. This group isn't necessarily wealthy, but they have enough stability that money isn't a constant source of stress. Bills get paid without much thought to last until the next paycheck. For example, someone might get paid on Friday, immediately pay rent of $1,600, cover $300 to $500 in utilities and insurance, spend $200 to $300 on groceries, and fill the gas tank. By the end of the first week, the account might already be down to a few $100s, and that has to stretch 1 or 2 weeks. Nothing is technically overdue, but everything is tightly scheduled around timing. They also found that 39% say they're doing just okay. This is the biggest single group, and it's where things start to get misleading. Okay sounds stable, but in reality, it often means people are getting through the month without falling behind, not actually moving forward. Bills get paid, but only because they're timed perfectly. Rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, and gas all come out in sequence around paydays. After that first wave of bills, what's left is often not extra money, it's just what hasn't been assigned yet. In many cases, that might be a few $100s or less, hoping next month is easier. People in this group are still working full-time, still paying everything, still keeping life running normally, but the structure underneath is tight. A paycheck arrives, it gets mostly allocated within days, and then the rest of the month is just managing what's left until This is also where small shocks matter more than people expect. A higher electric bill, or a small car repair, or an unexpected school or medical expense doesn't feel catastrophic, but it forces immediate trade-offs, like postponing a bill, reducing grocery spending for the next week, or putting it on a credit card and hoping next savings are either very small or constantly interrupted. Someone might build up $1,000 over a few months, but a $400 car repair, a $250 dental bill, or a $300 utility spike wipes a large portion of it out immediately. So the savings exists, but it doesn't steadily grow. It just moves up and down depending on what breaks that month and what's left until the next one. Retirement contributions might exist, maybe $100 or $300 a month, but they often feel symbolic rather than meaningful. Because let's be honest, even though it's a solid start, that amount is unlikely to move the needle. 19% say they're just getting by. This is where income covers basic needs, but there's nothing left over. Bills are generally paid, but almost every dollar has a purpose before the paycheck even arrives. This often looks like carefully timing when bills are paid around payday to avoid overdrafts or stretching groceries late in the month with cheaper staples like rice, pasta, frozen meals, or discount store runs. Gas purchases are planned tightly, sometimes just enough to get through the week, rather than filling the tank. There is usually little to no savings, or savings that get wiped out quickly by a single expense. This is the group where things feel mostly functional on the surface, but fragile underneath. People are still working, still paying most obligations, but there's little buffer if timing shifts or something unexpected hits. A single disruption can quickly cascade into the next pay period. And finally, 8% of people say they're finding it difficult to get by. This group is experiencing ongoing strain, where even basic necessities can be hard to fully cover each month without gaps or trade-offs. In practice, this can look like rent or utility payments being late or partially paid, phone or electricity bills at risk of shutoff, or relying on payment plans just to keep accounts current. Transportation becomes inconsistent, like delaying car repairs, driving with warning lights, bald tires, or screeching brakes, even though these things will result in higher expenses in the near future. Unexpected costs, even small ones, cannot be absorbed at all without borrowing, missing another payment, or seeking help from family, friends, or assistance programs. Credit cards, payday-style borrowing, or overdraft fees aren't used for convenience but to cover immediate gaps. Financial stress here is constant rather than situational. It shows up as regularly checking account balances before spending anything, anxiety around mail or unknown charges, and prioritizing only what's immediately due. Longer-term planning like saving, investing, or debt reduction is simply not even in the cards. This group is worried about keeping a roof over their heads. Beyond how people feel, the actual data makes the situation even clearer. Only about 63% of US adults could cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing or selling something. That means a large portion of people who are technically doing okay would still struggle with a pretty small unexpected cost. But why exactly are people unable to afford such small expenses? It's not like $400 goes very far nowadays. Now, it might surprise you to know that the median household income is around $84,000. That number doesn't sound that low. It feels like it should support a comfortable lifestyle, at least to an extent. But income alone doesn't translate directly into financial comfort because what matters is what happens after that income is allocated. Once housing, taxes, debt, insurance, transportation, and basic living expenses are accounted for, the remaining flexibility can look very different from household to household. Housing is, of course, one of the biggest factors shaping financial comfort today. Rent and mortgage costs have gone way up in many areas, and unlike discretionary spending, housing is not easily adjustable. It quickly takes up a large portion of monthly income before anything else is even considered. That alone can determine whether someone feels ahead or constantly tight, even at the same income level as someone else. But a commonly overlooked reason people struggle financially isn't income or fixed expenses. It's how money is managed day to day, and that reality is downright alarming. It's honestly shocking how people who earn a comfortable income, nothing crazy, but certainly a lot more than the minimum needed to get by, somewhere around average or above, still have trouble paying their bills. Most of us know a friend, coworker, family member, or someone like this. They make a similar amount of money as you. They don't have a huge house or a really nice car, yet they're always complaining that they're completely broke. And when you look at their life from the outside, it doesn't immediately make sense. Everything looks average, and it's often not because their rent is just too high or that things just keep popping up. A huge part of it is what happens in the day-to-day. Grabbing food out most days because cooking feels like too much effort. Not expensive meals, just $20 or $30 at a time, but it adds up quickly. Running into Target for one thing and leaving with $100 worth of stuff they didn't plan on buying. Aimless Amazon shopping for things they didn't need. Then you layer in bigger choices, buying things after zero research, cars and payments that are completely upside down, owing more than the car is worth, using credit cards out of convenience and never making it a priority to pay them in full. None of these things on their own seem extreme. That's what makes it so easy to overlook. But put it all together, it's constant money going out with very little control over it. So by the time rent is due or a bill hits, or something slightly unexpected comes up, there's nothing left, and now it feels like things just keep happening. When you put all of this together, the pattern becomes clear. Financial comfort is not just about income level, it's about how much space exists between what comes in and what is already committed. And for a surprising amount of people, more than you expect, this is normal and they don't seem to mind based on their unwillingness to do anything about it. Of course, there are people struggling for reasons beyond their immediate control, a lot of them, but there are also a lot of people who are just careless with zero desire to improve, remaining broke and complaining week after week, year after year. So how would you describe your situation? Doing comfortably, doing okay, just getting by, or worse? If you say you're living comfortably, you're in a minority. Only about 1 in 3 people describe their finances in that way.